questions and I sit down to answer them right here on YouTube. So on Snapchat, one of you asked me, I really love wearing nail polish and I've been hearing a lot about these breathable halal nail polishes. What is your opinion on these nail polishes? What a great question. So, you know, just like the rest of you, I love wearing nail polish. In fact, I'm wearing nail polish right now. It's something fun that I like to do. It's something that when I was younger, I was not allowed to wear nail polish. My dad did not let me wear it, and that's probably fueled why I love to wear it even more now, because you know, it was something that was like, no, you can't do that until you get older. Now let me preface that by saying that I only wear nail polish while I'm not praying. So during those days of the month where I am not praying, that's when I'll wear nail polish, and I'm sure to remove it before I start praying again. And that's something that I've done my whole life. I was always taught that that's the right way to wear nail polish because the nail polish can invalidate your wudu, or the washing up ritual we do before we pray, because there is a barrier between your nail bed and the water, which could invalidate your wudu and therefore make your prayers invalidated as well. And that's why we don't wear nail polish while we pray. Now, that being said, and I think that is pretty much common across the board. I think even girls who wear nail polish while they're praying kind of know that we really shouldn't, but maybe it's something that's difficult for them. They just enjoy wearing it, whatever the case may be. But I think that's pretty much a general understanding within our faith. Now, all of that being said, within the last few years, there's been this whole phenomenon of breathable nail polish, halal nail polish. One of the huge brands is Inglot. I own one of them, and it says breathable nail enamel. And in addition to Inglot, there are other brands that have come out, like Tuesday in Love. I just saw one called Maya. A few other brands have come out, kind of marketing to this market specifically because it's something that is really desired. A nail polish product that you can wear while praying. Now, I remember when Inglot came out with this breathable nail polish line. I was living in Dubai at the time, where they have a bunch of Inglot stores. I went online, I read everything. It seemed like, okay, maybe we can do this. So there was a sheikh that came out at the time who wrote something saying that it's allowed, it's permissible, you can wear this nail polish while praying. There was a video put out by Inglot where they were in a lab and they showed you how it in fact is breathable. And you know, I talked to my dad about it. I was like, here's this thing, it's called like breathable nail polish, where the water permeates the nail polish and so it gets to the nail bed when making wudu. You know, can I wear this? And he's like, okay, well, if it truly does what it says it does, then there shouldn't be an issue. So I bought an Inglot. I wore the nail polish and I prayed. So the way I feel about the breathable halal nail polish is something about it just didn't sit right with me. Maybe it's because I've been accustomed to my entire life not wearing nail polish while I pray, but a piece of my heart just felt like, I don't know. So what I did was I watched that YouTube video that Inglot put out really closely, and they were in the lab and they had their lab coats and they were showing you, with the coffee filters, and here's the nail polish and the water's going through. But one part of that video, if any of you guys watched it, you'll remember that they kind of had to rub the nail polish on that coffee filter for a good 30 seconds. They had to kind of rub the water on the nail polish for it to finally permeate and bleed through onto the coffee filter so you could see the water underneath. And I don't know about you guys, but when I make wudu, I don't sit there and kind of like rub my fingernail for each fingernail for 30 seconds to make sure that the water goes through. So that kind of made me feel like, okay, I don't know if this is right. And then another thing happened. I was at the masjid and I was praying with my nail polish, my breathable nail polish, and I got done praying. This is in Dubai, and let me just tell you, the women in Dubai are very vocal. They'll let you know how they feel. So I got done praying and the woman next to me turned to me. She was really sweet, but she was like, sister, you should not be wearing nail polish while you're praying. And I wanted to explain to her like, oh no, this is breathable nail polish, but like she's not gonna get it. And I was just like, thank you, and I just kind of moved on. And that kind of gave me pause for a second, because it's true, people aren't going to really know that you're wearing halal nail polish while you're praying. And God forbid I set an example to somebody else who sees me and is like, oh, Melanie's wearing nail polish while she's praying, it must not be that big of a deal, and they do it. And, you know, lo samahullah, God forbid I am held responsible for somebody's prayers not being counted. So, you know, after all those things happened, I kind of thought about it more, and I was like, you know, something in my heart is just telling me that, I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable. So for that reason, I actually stopped wearing it. You know, it was a lesson for me in following your gut and your gut instinct and what your heart is telling you. And my heart personally just told me that this didn't feel right. And a big part of that is because prayer is so vital and so important to us as Muslims. I mean, it's the first thing we're going to be asked about on the Day of Judgment, right? Is your prayer. And if your prayers are not right, then, you know, God help you. So for something so huge as prayer, it's like, why risk it? You know, why take the chance of even a minuscule chance that maybe your wudu is invalidated, maybe your prayers are not counted, and you're taking the time to make wudu, to pray. So it's like, they better be counting, and I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. So in the cost-benefit analysis, yeah, I like to wear nail polish, but you know what? I'm going to sacrifice that desire of my own nafs for something greater, which is prayer. And I decided not to wear the breathable nail polish while I pray. Again, this is my personal decision and how I felt. I know that there are people who are adamant that no, you can wear it and it permeates and everything's fine. But make the decision for yourself. If you don't feel comfortable, then follow your heart. Listen to what your heart is telling you to do. For me, I felt uneasy. And I had too much doubt. I think that's what it was. There was too much doubt as to whether or not it was really permeating, and I kind of became fixated on it. So I was like, forget it. And you know, it's kind of fun and exciting that, you know, during this time where you can't pray, you know, you're not feeling well physically, it's a fun little thing I get to do, paint my nails, you know, when I'm not praying into something that's, you know, something I look forward to. So why not keep that going? And I can do it once a month, and that's okay. And at the end of the day, you guys, it's nail polish, right? Like, it's superficial. If you're having a really big issue with it and you think that nail polish is like, you have to wear nail polish all the time, then kind of take a step back and think about maybe why that is and why, you know, that's so important to you. When it's, at the end of the day, it's something that we put on to beautify ourselves, really. I mean, let's be real about it. So kind of think about yourself, you know, in your heart, and why it is that you feel the need to wear nail polish at all times, if that's your issue. So I hope that answered your question, and as always, any other questions, leave them below and I'll answer them for you right here on YouTube. And you can always stay updated with me on Instagram, on Snapchat, on our blog, on our website, and you all know how to get a hold of me. Thumbs up if you liked the video, be sure to subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time, inshallah. Take care. Salam alaikum.